Tape marker, action. What is going on, everybody? This is Alamo City Movie Talk. As always, I'm your host, Ryan D, aka Ryan680, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going, guys? JC, Lex, what is going on, man?
I've got electricity so far.
I know.
If you lose me, or if for some reason either my power cut out or my internet cut out. So hi, everybody, and goodbye in advance in case that happens. All right. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I am by, man. What a freaking day it has been here in San Antonio, ladies and gentlemen. Wherever you're at, wherever side of town you're watching us on in the Alamo City. The Alamo City is really taking a huge blizzard, guys, and we do not like it. No, we do not. We were not ready. Okay.
I had fun. The kids had a blast. Come on now.
I like it, but I did get allergies and migraines because of the weather difference. Yeah, the spikes usually hit me. But aside from that, I do like seeing this much snow. I know San Antonio doesn't get it very frequently.
No, yeah. I think I was the only one here alive during the snowstorm of 85.
Yes, you are. I was about to say the 80s.
I was 4 years old, so I do remember it, actually. I remember we had a little hill. I was living in apartments off of Pin Oak Drive near what's now Crossroads, or what's now Wonderland Mall. Like, I lived there, but it was just, there was no mall. It was just a 2-house theater. And I remember those apartments. It was a huge snowstorm. The city wasn't ready. Like, roofs were collapsing. But my family, we had a black old Volkswagen Beetle covered in white snow. I have a lot of memories of that, too. It was one of my earliest memories as a kid. And so this really reminded me of that. 6 inches of snow, seeing my kids playing it was a lot of fun. And they really had a good time making snow angels and everything. So it took me back.
Most definitely, man. I mean, dude, that's awesome, brother. I mean, sharing that whole family experience. Again, I just, I don't know if, I loved it because this is my first time experiencing snow. So this was a huge, wow, this was a huge, I've only experienced fake snow, AKA at Disney. I've only really experienced, and Alexa was
were you here 3 years ago when we got it? December 20?
Yeah, see, yeah, but
2017.
Yeah, I wouldn't, see, you had to be on the right side of town. I mean, I did get it when I was driving, but it wasn't as much as obviously was what we got.
It didn't accumulate as much.
Yeah.
I was here for that one. They let us off of work early. We drove home in that. I personally know how to drive in snow because we would my family would usually go to Ruidoso, which is very close to El Paso. And Ruidoso has snow almost year round, or at least it gets very cold. And if it does snow, it holds it for weeks. But I went to Ruidoso last year and there was no snow at all. I think we had missed it for a little bit, so it was really nice for me and my girlfriend to experience that much snow.
Well, you brought it back here, brother.
We couldn't have, but no, I told her, usually Ruidoso gets like this, this is how it is, and ours already started melting and stuff like that because today was pretty sunny. But once again, Ruidoso holds that one bit of snow, it'll hold it for a whole week.
Mm-hmm. Dang. Okay, man. That's trippy, man. Yeah, again, I don't think San Antonio was ready for this. Obviously, it was very. I see different pictures, of course, on the news and everything. It's just, of course, a lot of situations right now. A lot of people are still without power. That's crazy. That's beyond me. But let's get right to it, guys. Wandavision. Let's get right to it, man. So this is Wandavision and Wandavision season 1, episode 6. All new Halloween spooktacular, guys. Let's get right to it, man. JC, what was your thoughts into this whole episode? Just right off the bat. Again, we're not gonna mention any spoilers, guys. So I'm pretty sure everyone has seen it. Whoever's watching, obviously, I'm pretty sure everyone has seen it. But we're not gonna mention spoilers at the very end. So let's get right to it, JC.
I enjoyed the Malcolm in the Middle opening.
Yeah,
it took me back a little bit of 90s. Loved all the costumes that that Wandavision and the kids and Quicksilver were wearing, just like their old comic counterparts. It was perfect. But this really adds to the intrigue, adds to the mystery, a lot of it. And it was really kind of I won't say it wasn't as epic as like the past couple episodes. This was really kind of a transition.
Mhm.
And now that they've announced the last 3 episodes are going to be an hour each, this was really the transition into the big 3-episode grand finale that they're going to put together for this. So
Yes.
yeah, it did a good job of getting us to that point. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, most definitely, man. I just for me for this episode, when that intro started, I was just like, oh man, I was just a little kid in me walking in the middle. We got to see that interaction, especially throughout this episode. We actually saw a different narrative with this as well. The whole story, the whole plot just shifted over in this one episode, and I loved it because it showed us more of the aspect of the kids in here, and it was more Malcolm in the Middle thing, and I love that. And we also got a little bit more of what Quicksilver. To a certain extent, we'll talk about it in spoilers. But I mean, yeah, I love that whole theme. You know, this is 90s right now, so I'm digging it. Lex, what's your thoughts on it, man?
Yeah, I mean, from the very beginning, I had said that based on trailers, like I was really looking forward to the Halloween episode, just because of like the costumes, the styling of it. It was at the time when the trailers were being showcased that would be more of a modern decade in TV. And of course, like JC said, like with the Malcolm in the Middle opening, we're looking at 90s. Although, of course, I think at this point they're just using like the camera picture. It's not the same as what was available in the 90s, right? So, but at this point, we're breaking more and more into that modern look that Marvel has. But yeah, that opening took me back as well. I immediately recognized it. I was confused as to why some reviewers and stuff like that, they were saying that they couldn't pinpoint it, and they're
too young for you, bro. They're too young for you.
I know. They were pointing to like, and I saw this too. I saw a little smidge of it, like just like the Disney, still within the 90s, early 2000s shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like some people made the comparison of like Lizzie McGuire and stuff like that, even though the opening's not the same, but when the character is like just talking to the camera and stuff. But I mean, the OG people know, like Malcolm in the Middle, that's a staple right there.
Yeah.
And, you know, even with Quicksilver coming in, you know, in Malcolm in the Middle, you always had like an older sibling that was still very like rebellious and childish and things like that. And so Quicksilver kind of fit in quite nicely to that, or Quicksilver in quotations. Yeah, like JC said, just paying the Halloween episode is the perfect episode to pay homage to those ridiculous costumes, you know, that perhaps wouldn't fit in today's world or today's character design. But I just love the way they did it, both for the kids, for Wanda, and for Vision. And I had no idea about the last 3 episodes being confirmed as an hour, but yeah, you could tell at this point, especially with how the episode culminated. At this point, there's no stopping, there's no slowing down. And I still think, once again, in every episode, they're planting seeds of what's going to happen and what's going to start breaking down, and from here on, like it's just pulling back the curtain and giving us like a big wow moment, perhaps in every single episode. Like perhaps the next 3 episodes will all have like a huge wow moment for all of us.
Yeah, I love this setup. I mean, we could call this a setup episode. Really, just setting up the whole game changer here. I'm not gonna lie, I freaking loved Elizabeth in that costume, man. Like, damn, girl, she looked really good in that costume. Like, yeah, like wow. Even the cute little, like, it's just the jokes, the little dance she was giving, that was real cute. That was awesome, man. I love that. Even I mean, come on, man. Even Vision looked great. I mean, dude, it may have been cheesy. I would have liked to see them fight in this WandaVision. That would have been cute. You know, that would have been very cheesy. That would have been very 90s. Wouldn't you all agree? Yeah. I mean, that would be very 90s to see them fight. Actually, a small little threat of some sorts. You know, just of any type, just to really put them in action. I would have loved to see that. Comic book people would have loved to see that again, though. But I like how they're paying respect, so to speak, respect towards that. So I love that about it. But yeah, the way this whole Halloween was, it was very such an eye opener into a sense to where, you know, where we get Quicksilver, where I know JC, I know you love this Quicksilver, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, from the Fox universe.
Oh yeah. I always thought he was entertaining. I love him better than the first one we got. So yeah.
Yeah.
Even though they both have ties to the Kick-Ass movie,
Yeah,
Still,
that's funny. I find that to be very, very, very coincidence. I think not, but yeah, it's very funny how that's such a coincidence right there. Again, loving I also love the chemistry between the kids, man. That chemistry between them was just, it really shapes onto where the camera really is shot with them. They seem very casual on camera. They seem very intuitive with each other, and I love that about it, because they seem like realistic twins, like it just into a sense to where, like, in that world,
Just the way they were talking to the camera too was very on par with how Malcolm in the Middle was breaking the fourth wall and everything like that. But to have the two of them doing that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
and
they
just,
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, and then as far as Quicksilver, that Quicksilver would be the definition of a fun uncle for anybody, I think. He's the one that's going to get you in trouble. He's the one that's going to run around and do what he did on Halloween night. And I thought that was very much so. If it was the other Quicksilver, it's like, no, this guy wouldn't do that. This guy, he would do exactly what he did. Yeah.
And
what I was going to say is, like, the kids were very charismatic in this episode. Before, ever since they first grew themselves into the I don't want to call them teenagers because it's not
10,
but like
10-year-olds.
Yeah, they're 10.
Yeah, 10-year-olds. As they aged themselves into that episode, the first episode with the dog, I believe. I liked the kids, but I wasn't like caring for them, or I didn't see the charisma. They acted like kids at that point. And in this episode, they really bumped it up to where now I kind of care about their individual journey. And I care for their character, their charisma. Once again, now being it's coming across on the screen and on the camera. And granted, they were giving individual lines, so I think this episode did a really good job. Right, like, should the outcome be that the kids are either in danger or they have a role to set up, like, moving forward, like, now I think the audience can care, whereas before I think it was just like, they're twins, we know they're twins because, or we know they'll play a big role, but do we care that they're playing a big role? Now we are there, I think. And even from Wanda's standpoint, like, just her trying to establish a relationship with her, I'll keep throwing the quotes out there, but with her brother, I think they did some really good things dialogue wise to kind of establish that bond, at the same time communicating certain things to the audience without getting into spoilers. But I think that was the main thing. Like, right, no big action scenes, like Ryan said, like, would have been nice, but I think this was pretty much the last breathing pit stop before we get up and going. And I mean, towards the end of the episode, we did get some level of, like, intensity for sure. And I think I think as a recap, what all of us are saying is just the dynamics keep growing, and if you think back, like, the first 3 episodes, they were really just about Wanda and Vision, and now we've been introduced with so many different characters. Whether it's inside of the hex or outside of the hex, right? If you count, now we're looking at, like, I could be throwing the number off, but I'm thinking, like, of 8 key characters or key players, and we're caring about every single one of them. And such a short period of time, shows usually don't land that, like, for a lot of other series. So I really once again like how everything is crafted. Yeah,
most definitely, man. I completely agree with you there, man. There's one thing I also wanted to mention as well, was that Quicksilver. It was funny to see him in his old costume, because that's the original comic book. I don't know if we mentioned it already. I'm pretty sure I think we did. Well, that was pretty cool to see that, and then his nephew being in that. And man, I totally agree there. It just, when you start off the story in the season of just the 2 main leads, and then you start showing us different characters, and then you keep those characters on as and it's almost like a, I'm gonna go with Lex. It's almost like a This Is Us series, and it's just like, it's throwing up, it's making sure that everyone has a good amount enough camera time. And now that we know that the boys have a personality, that's great. And I love that about it, because it gets us to care about each and every single one of them. I mean, we even got to see, director Tyler. We got to see, Jimmy Woo. We got to see their character development as well outside of the Hex, let alone on just situations that were happening outside. But we'll go further more into it on spoilers. But yeah, I really did love that about it, man. Like that was great. Also, we got a sense to where this town exactly what is going on in this Hex. We got a sense to where more of the environment, more of the atmosphere, more of intuitive of how much controlling Wanda really has. And we got that in this episode, which I love, because this is almost like a setup / behind the scenes kind of episode to where what her powers really linked into and all that stuff. And we get to see, because I mean, just she's on one part of the town, and we saw it in this episode, we saw it, how much they really progressed in it, and we saw how Quicksilver and again, Lex already mentioned it, the dialogue between them was just so good. We saw a little insight into, is this really the Quicksilver? Is this really the new Quicksilver? But yeah, I mean, what was the commercial on this one? I forgot.
It was very. It was
Yo Magic,
very,
right?
Go Magic.
Yeah,
yeah, but the way it was, there's a lot of commercials like that in the '90s as far as the claymation.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah,
I think
claymation
just
for
about
sure.
claymation. I think just about every I think every Nickelodeon show had that commercial appear.
I just don't recall them being that dark. So this one, in my opinion, got dark.
No,
Yeah.
that one's pretty dark.
Yeah.
And I think it's
yeah.
for a reason, right? Like, but style wise, they keep aligning to it. And of course, I know, on previous episodes, I have pointed out that the commercials, at least beyond the surface, seem to have some sort of correlation to the Infinity Stones. This one's the first one that I think breaks away from that formula. Aside from a theory that I have, which I can break down a little bit more on the spoiler, but yeah, like I think we already knew that the commercials have significance, right? But I think for the standard audience member that perhaps is not giving too much thought into it, this is the first commercial that really kind of is like, oh, that was weird, like that was dark. And so perhaps it's, once again, it's a symbolism for this show, starting to take a dark turn perhaps into these last 3 episodes.
I really wanted to. I hope to God it does, because this is really going to change the shape as far as Marvel movies. Because again, Marvel movies haven't really gone to a dark per se place.
Yeah.
Into like I guess of course, besides the fact that spoiler alert, Tony Stark dies. Besides the fact all that about that Endgame and all that, because that was kind of depressing a little bit, obviously, to see that. And we saw how they interact, how they progressed in that situation. But again, we come down to this to this sword team. We come down to this, and where we also get to see, Jimmy Woo actually come in, step up, and on the human side, because let's be honest here, the only superheroes is Wandavision, Wanda and Vision. That's it, and everyone else is just regular humans, as far as we know. Of course, and Quicksilver, right. But again, I don't know. I know, JC, you mentioned on the previous episode, you think Quicksilver is real? Like, this is a real.
Yeah, I think this is a multiverse Quicksilver. I think I'm sticking with that.
You're sticking with that, okay?
I'm sticking with that. Yeah.
Lex, what do you think?
Just his personality and then the way he interacts.
No, I've called it. I don't. Well, at first I had once again, we only had one line from him at first, so I was still leaving it up in the air. But no, this episode for me confirmed that it's neither. Like at first, I was sure that it wasn't going to be the X-Men Days of Future Past. Mm-hmm. This episode has played him to be Aaron Taylor Johnson's version, right? So the Ultron version, but I don't buy that. And I mean, I'll explain more as to why, but I'm still not buying it.
You're still not buying it. Dude, I am on the fence on it, man. I really
unless he's our our X-Men version with a little bit of the MCU memories. That could be the thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I would like. So I would love to see, ladies and gentlemen, moviegoers, I would love to see this X-Men obviously crossover. Who would want to see that? We all would want to see that. But is that really the case in this situation? Because we don't even know, have they even announced any X-Men movies per se. You know, like
we talked about this on the Geekcast. Someone asked, is there still going to be a if you remember Mandalorian? Is there going to be a Luke Skywalker style cameo, like a big surprise cameo? And there's only one name to me that would be the Luke Skywalker of the X-Men films that would make sense, and that's Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. And that would shock the world if he showed up. There's 3 hour-long episodes.
Dude, he's done, bro. He's done.
No, maybe he's not. Hey, Disney money talks, okay?
Dude,
he's done with Fox,
oh
but Disney's got the cash. And my thought is, like, if there's anyone that could get close enough to Scarlet Witch and fight her, I mean, he got close to Phoenix. He can handle what Phoenix does, and he still survived that. He, to me, would make the most sense. And he's the Luke Skywalker S-type cameo that could shock the world if he made an appearance. I mean, I'm just saying.
Was that what they said? Because what I had read was that they asked Elizabeth Olsen if there's like a Mandalorian Luke style moment. Cameo. I don't know if they said cameo, but just wanted to check in with you and confirm.
Whether it's moment or cameo, I'm not 100% sure. But my thought is, if you're betting on Evan Peters to be that moment, I'm like, no, it's really not. There's bigger names out there in this franchise. Mm-hmm. And Luke Skywalker is like the biggest name in Star Wars. Who's the biggest name in X-Men? It's the one guy who's been in every X-Men movie save one, and it's Wolverine. So
I would say Darth Vader Darth Vader would be the biggest name in Star Wars, I would say, because technically he's been in all the movies.
I mean, but
the only characters that appear in all the movies except for Solo have been C-3PO and R2-D2. So not counting the Disney one. Not counting Disney one. If you were counting the prequels and the Anakin Vader, that's true. But I mean, for the guy that started all, Mark Hamill's going to be associated with Luke Skywalker the rest of his life from the moment he took that role. So, and Hugh Jackman has been Wolverine as long as anybody's known him. Even when they went back and rebooted the timeline with First Class, he made a cameo. Days of Future Past, he was there. Apocalypse, he made Apocalypse, he made an appearance. And then Dark Phoenix, he was there. He didn't appear in that one. That's the only one he hasn't appeared in. So, that would make the most sense.
I don't see that happening. I see of course, I see.
Hey, I'm just saying the mouse has a lot more money than Robert Murdoch. I'm just saying.
Nah, dude, he's done. He's already at that age, brother. He's at that age, man. He said it. Like he has to stay built.
For me, it still goes back to this. Like, as much as WandaVision is drawing attention and people are loving it, few exceptions, right? Mm-hmm. It's still Disney's first TV series. Mm-hmm. Disney has the money, but Disney also has the platform. And if they're going to drop something huge like that, they're going to do it in a movie, not in a series. And that's with all respect to WandaVision. WandaVision has my respect. I think it's one of the most, if it pays off the way I feel like it is going to pay off, it's one of its most mature storytelling showcases that Disney has given us. So it has all my respect. But from a business standpoint, Disney will spend the resources and money necessary for a big moment like that, but they'll place it under a platform of a movie.
But when are we going to get movies again?
And again, it could be Doctor Strange. We talked about it. It could be Doctor Strange multiverse that we're talking about.
They waited like 8 years to give us a proper Thanos, right? Like a Thanos moment, right? They place little seeds here and there, but that tells you Disney's patient. If Disney has to wait until movies are back up and running for that big moment, they know they're going to handpick that moment. I do think we're getting something special this season for sure, because I still I don't think I mentioned it the last time, but there's the whole. Are we in spoiler mode now? Right?
Yeah, might as well. Go ahead. We're talking spoilers, guys. let's just go ahead and do
it. Let's just jump into it now. Yeah,
let's go ahead and talk. We're going to talk spoilers, ladies and gentlemen. Spoilers.
This is from last episode anyways, but spoilers. I was going to say, like, there's some level of mysteriousness behind who Monica's friend is, who's been labeled as a aerospace engineer, and there's very few aerospace engineers in.
Yes, I mentioned that on the
Yeah, in the Marvel lore, right? At first, I couldn't think of anyone, but then looking into it, there's a few choices. But I do think we're getting something special. I don't think we're getting something Hugh Jackman level.
I think we should get. I think we're gonna see if it is gonna happen. If there is gonna be a multiverse connection here, or like, at least to start up something. I feel like we're gonna get a Fantastic Four rather than an X-Men. I feel like because the Fantastic Four, you're starting off with brand new characters, brand new faces. You could get anybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, but again, of course, everyone wants Emily Blunt and John Krasinski, and that's the thing. It's just like, I don't know. I kind of agree with Lex. You know, as a business standpoint, you want,
awesome. That for me has a bigger chance than Hugh Jackman, because, like you said, I think Marvel right now is being patient into announcing whether it's a reboot, whether they're bringing people from the Fox universe. They're being very patient. I know Evan Peters is in here, but once again, I have thoughts on that. But I think like even a touch, like dipping your toes into Fantastic Four, it is more probable, and it's more probable in a show because it's a big thing, but it's a smaller play than the X-Men, to be honest. Because like you said, that we're expecting for it to be new. There's uncertainty behind the X-Men situation. Plus, the Fantastic Four has been confirmed as far as something Marvel is touching next. Whereas X-Men, it's kind of up in the air. I know Disney has it already. Like, you know, they have it set. They have the plan set. But as far as what they've told us about Fantastic Four, right? They just haven't showcased like the who, what, when, and what. And I think that has a higher chance, because you don't have to worry about like dealing with like a reboot and the Fox purchase, because that the last Fantastic Four just kind of was dead on arrival, right?
That's the next question. Which Fantastic Four do they bring? Are they bringing back Chris Evans as Johnny Storm and Jessica Alba as Miss?
No. I think they're going to leave that
fresh. Or are they just going to be fresh?
I think it's going to be fresh. I
they
feel
haven't told us, but they've told us the Fantastic Four movies.
They told us about Fantastic Four without telling us about Fantastic Four. That's basically
they just named like, hey, we're gonna do a movie. They just haven't told us exactly who's going to be in it and all that.
The same thing they did with Blade, with the exception that they announced playing Blade.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we're talking into spoilers, I mean, y'all pick which topic we go into next, because I want to make sure we're all.
Well, I mean, one thing we've talked about, is this the same Vision from this world? Was it just a reanimated corpse? Was this a Vision pulled from another multiverse? And there's a lot of evidence that could support that second idea, that this isn't the same Vision. He has no memories. He has no idea what Avengers are. He's never heard the term. And two, as soon as he pulled himself out of the hex, it was like the hex was trying to pull him back in because he couldn't survive out of it.
So that answers that question. That answers the main question that we were talking about this episodes ago, was that can Lex survive? Can Vision? I was looking at your name, Lex. Sorry. Can Vision survive outside of the hex? That was the main question. I was like, hey, in the comics, she actually brings it back to life, but now we get a sense to where, oh crap, he can't survive. He was already dying. He was depleting. He was going into pieces, pulling him back in. And obviously we saw that in this episode. It's just how intense it was. And he's eager just to learn, who the hell am I? You know, and just like, who wouldn't? You know what I'm saying? It's just, we got into a sense to where what Vision, what he knows, what's in his brain, exactly what he knows and everything. Also, we got to see as well, director Tyler, his hidden files that he has as well, that we saw. That I believe what's her name? Oh my God, what's her name?
Darcy.
Darcy, yeah, that Darcy found, and she was cracking. Yeah, she was cracking the what do you call it?
It's all his hidden stuff. Firewalls.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
man, dude.
I'm still like, I like that theory about Vision. Like, if they're really gonna open up the multiverse on this one, that it is a multiverse Vision. That's an interesting theory. I like that. I'm still.
Well, it could be one of two things. It could be a different Vision, or the same Vision body, but the Mind Stone from another multiverse.
Yeah, because
yeah.
At one point when he transformed out of his Halloween costume for the first time in his vision form, he actually had the Mind Stone, and the Mind Stone remained even outside the hex as he was stepping out, but he was dematerializing, like you said.
Yeah.
I think that the possible explanation to that is as it's been said, right? Wanda, things that go into the hex, Wanda can can alter reality, however, still using the same materials, right? So a vision that corpse could materialize into an alive vision, right? The Mind Stone, though, it wouldn't have it was extracted, so it wouldn't have rematerialized out of an existing vision body. So that's the question, right? I still like to always call back to how Wanda's power and in essence part of her power is originated from the Mind Stone. So perhaps altering an extraction or a portion of her power in itself is able to place that inside. But I don't know, because once again, Vision hadn't shown it before. So what changed that allowed for Vision to transform it in there, right? Unless he didn't notice. But I do think part of what's keeping him together is the hex, which is why he was dematerializing as he was trying to walk out on the last portion of the scene, which once again goes, I think all of us had agreed that part of what Wanda is doing in her reluctancy to free this world or this city is because this is the only place where A, she can be happy, and B, where Vision is around, right? And more into the files of the director, like it's starting to seem like it's starting to seem like perhaps when Wanda, I know she doesn't recall it. Her memory is blurry. But perhaps when Wanda infiltrated SWORD to get Vision, right? What may seem out of selfishness, perhaps she was stopping SWORD from weaponizing Vision, because it seems like they were kind of tampering with his body or something.
I agree there. I kind of feel like there's more to it. Obviously, we're going to see that with as far as Darcy, she found some files. I feel like you're on the right track, Lex. I feel like you're right on the point, because I feel like they're going to change him into a weapon, into a sense to where because I mean that's the thing. That's the whole point of this. Weapons, they contradict weapons of the Mind Stone, of any stone, and then other beings start coming to Earth. Because you're just like, you're ready for that challenge. Earth is ready for that mighty power. It's just and it's just like Thor said it.
Well, like I'm also starting to think like what if we're being fooled this whole time and like this?
It's just a sitcom.
Well, what if this version of what we're seeing from SWORD is actually just Hydra infiltrated?
That wouldn't surprise me. I mean,
well, like if you think about it, Monica came back 5 years after the blip, right? And the only other time we've seen SWORD was with Nick Fury being in space. And once again, I've called back to it like, oh, I thought SWORD was just an outer space thing, perhaps with a HQ, on planet Earth. But Monica came back after a 5-year gap. Within that 5-year gap, who's to say that what she thought was SWORD then became Hydra or something? And perhaps there has been no way to truly check, like for FBI or anyone involved in terms of the 3 core good members that we know, which is Darcy, what's his name? I know it's Jimmy Woo, but what's his name in the show?
What are you talking
about? Jimmy Woo?
Randall Park.
Randall Park is his
okay, Agent Park. I'm sorry, and Rambeau. Like once again, what if they just stepped into this role thinking, "Oh yeah, this is SWORD. Like they have the logo, they have everything." But like, what if they're not? It's making me think, right? Because it would kind of suck if they make up SWORD to also be like evil, just the same thing, like repeating the same cycle that Shield and
I feel like that would be poor writing, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's television for you.
You're overthinking it, Lex. You're overthinking it, brother. Okay,
no. I think that's what I'm saying. So are you saying it's poor writing if they do it again, or
I'm saying it's poor writing if they do it again. Just repeat the cycle. It'll be kind of annoying. Yeah.
And so far, it's not poor writing. So I'm thinking it's purposely. It's probably Hydra this whole time. But anyway,
I'll be mad. Okay, Lex, I'm calling it right now. If Lex is right on this theory, because that's funny, because Shield is actually owns Sword. So Shield is like, Sword is the space division, the space force of what Shield is. So we'll just call it that, right? So that's the realistic in the comics. And so if that's true. If that is true, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm not gonna like this series ever again. I'm gonna be so like, I'm calling it right now. I mean,
if it happens, it would make sense. People will
piss me off.
5 years.
It'll waste the time.
Kids will disappear for 5 years. Her mom died after 2 of those years. And then this guy ascends because there's literally nobody else. And if the whole time he was an agent of Hydra, sure, because he looked. If you play Among Us, he was acting sus this episode. Very much so. He's hiding something. Them to find out that on some level he's tracking Vision and everybody else in that hex.
He's the
So and he already tried to kill Wanda already. I mean, he tried to do a sneak attack.
If he's not Hydra, he's Mephisto.
Yeah, that's a theory.
That's another good one right there. So, and see, I know we talked about Mephisto. I mean, we talked about him countless times in the very early episodes.
I'm Team Mephisto. I
know you mentioned ratings. JC, I know you don't give ratings right on episodes.
I wait for a full season, then I'll give you.
You wait for a full season.
Yeah, I'm like that. I'll say this one.
Okay,
like I said before. On the Geekcast, Joe, when we met the Mandalorian, there was that epic episode. I want to say it was episode 6, season 2. 7 was kind of the lull, and 8 was the big finale. We got Luke and everything. And Joe hated 7. He hated the infiltration of that camp, them redeeming Bill Burr's character. And I was like, look, in wrestling, you bring the crowd back down before you bring them up and get them excited. That's how you do. You just had this epic episode, bring them down. We had 4, we had 5. They were epic. They were huge. This is a good transition. It brought the crowd down, and we're going to get 3 huge hour-long episodes that are going to be pretty epic to set up possibly, the multiverse, possibly even Falcon and Winter Soldier on some of it, because that's the next TV series. So this did a good job of getting us down a little bit. It's like, okay, but giving us a big highlight at the end, so we're anticipating what comes next. I think it did a really good job of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call this like a slow episode. I mean, I felt like it was not slow. I felt like it was like right in the middle, like right on the money, guys.
Yeah,
Disney, Malcolm right on the money. Yeah.
Hey, boom, nailed it.
Boom, right there, right in the middle, like not too slow, not too slow, not too fast. Like it was the perfect pace. I loved it because it just really showed us a setup. We talked about at the beginning of this episode, of this very episode, was that it's a huge setup, and we got to see how the town works. That's crazy how when Wanda walks around, like the town is like just it's active, and then it goes away on the other side of town, on the corner side of town, which is where he's curious. He's very curious to see why, what's going on here, and he starts questioning everything even more so. And we saw that here. Again, though, with the dialogue that we saw between the brother and sister, I don't know, man. I can't say it's him. It's weird. It's just like I feel like it's not him. The way they had their speeches and everything, and how Wanda can't remember.
Well, like she was asking him stuff.
Yeah, she was more testing him, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and he called her on his shit, like on her shit. Like he was like, "You're testing me," but he still never answered. And then there was other moments.
Politician. Yeah.
Yeah, he was playing a politician for sure. And towards the end, right? Like, I know there was like a quick scene where there was a flashback, and then Wanda was like, "Is that how it happened?" Like, I don't remember.
Yeah, the Halloween. Yeah.
And when she was like, "Why do you have a different face?" And he's like, "Oh, look, it's blurry. Like, I don't know, just like it's blurry for you." Yeah. And then he asked her his own set of questions, kind of like saying like, "How did you do this? How did you pull this off?" Which is very interesting, almost like trying to find out, how to either replicate or find out exactly what's going on.
Which is why I think he's the X-Men one. He's trying to blend in.
See, and that
he wouldn't be evil. He'd be.
I'm not saying he's evil.
I'm not saying he's
mind controlled on some level, but he's trying to.
It's possible he could be a vessel for something, right? Mm-hmm. But I think adding to my Mephisto storyline, there's a couple things with him in the mix. There's a couple things. Like some people are saying that Evan Peters himself could be playing Mephisto. However, the way he's acting and the role that he's kind of playing to me doesn't seem like the guy pulling the strings. It's more perhaps like an agent, like not an agent of sort is what I'm trying to say, but like a sidekick or agent for Mephisto. And so people are now throwing, I know before I had thrown, if it's not Mephisto, it could be Reaper.
Okay.
And then some people are saying that this could be Nightmare, which is a villain that I'm not too familiar about, but it could be Nightmare acting as an agent for Mephisto, or Nightmare acting as an agent for Reaper, or Reaper acting as an agent for Mephisto. I know I threw a lot of information out there, but he definitely has that like infiltrator type of vibe, right? And usually the main boss is not infiltrating. The main boss is telling X person to infiltrate. And so once again, he seemed to be like wanting to get some answers, and he was almost kind of like grooming the kids, if that makes sense. Like I think I had heard that like the way he attached himself to the kids, right? It's almost once again like Mephisto's endgame, which is to extract some sort of their powers. Up until this point, though, the kids have not had powers, but it's almost like them hanging out with the cool uncle, and the cool uncle showing his powers in front of them, kind of like tapping into that potential, like specifically because the first one who showcased his powers was well, I forget who's Jimmy and who's Tommy and who's Billy, but the speedsters who awakened his powers first, and it was almost once again
Tommy. I think that was Tommy.
Tommy. Okay, yeah. So Tommy awakening his powers first, all like aligning with the uncle. Almost once again, the uncle just carelessly using his abilities throughout the day. It's almost like, hey, this is how it's done, right? And the commercial, a lot of people are saying that the kid from the commercial, especially because his shirt was red, they're saying that the kid kind of looks like Billy, and the shark that comes out could be a evil figure, and he handed him this treat called Go Magic, and the kid couldn't open it. And the kid, as he was trying to open it, started aging until he died, right? Or he became a skeleton. And so what people are saying is that commercial could be a representation of how the shark comes into this kid's life, and rather than rescue him, it's like, hey, this is some power. I need you to open it. And if you don't open it, you're going to die. And some people are saying, once again, the infiltrator potentially being this Quicksilver that we're seeing was put into effect so that they can tap into this power or open up the power for Billy's purpose. In this case, Go Magic, because he has magical powers like his mother. So when I'm hearing these things, like part of it makes sense. Part of it still leaves me kind of like doubting like how some things work, right? But I think the solidifier here is that when Vision was in danger, Quicksilver wasn't really doing anything. He was making jokes and saying like, your husband can't die twice or whatever. And Wanda broke and actually attacked him. So to me, that's a sign that she herself knows something's up with this person, and she herself does not trust that this person's who he says he is. And otherwise she wouldn't have attacked her brother. And so that for me, that scene being written in there is an indicator that she knows this is not him. She knows this is someone else with ulterior motives.
Okay.
That's kind of where I'm sitting.
Yeah, so just to clarify, it looks like it does look like Billy was actually the one that it's not Billy. Billy's the one that actually has the premonition or the vision of Vision, like he was hurting.
Yeah. So he's the one with magical powers.
He's Wiccan. He basically is Wiccan, so he becomes, that what Wanda is really.
And not now to see that we actually saw the hex go out, expand even more. We saw people turning into circus freaks. To see that, like
that's the next
yeah,
arc.
Yeah.
And even Darcy goes in there too, so it's interesting.
Yeah, how she's gonna
if
come
she'll
out.
be able to snap out of it like Monica or not. And they've confirmed in this episode too that Monica's cells are starting to look different. That they're altered at a cellular level, which once again I've mentioned that this could be a good segue for her to get powers. But now I'm thinking, like, if that's the case, is Darcy going to get powers? Right? I'm not sure, but
I mean, if she goes through the thing twice, I mean that's one way to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe you would only get them if you're there twice then.
Yeah, because Monica went through the energy field once to go in, once she got shot out. So she went through it. She's been through it twice. That's why it altered so much. So that's one way to do it. Yeah. So, but we'll see.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think. I mean, what's left to if it's 90s? I mean, this one's gonna go into the 2010s. This next round.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of. I
think
I'm sure there's some Disney Channel shows they'll make fun of. That's
it's gonna be the OC guys. The OC.
Well, I think one of the scenes in the trailer, I think it's the only scene we're left to see in terms of a decade. I think one of them reminded me of Modern Family. How they do like the little like interview segments talking to the camera as well. I remember Elizabeth Olsen having a scene like that, and I immediately thought like, oh, that's Modern Family.
Mm-hmm. Well, unless they move to reality TV, but we'll see.
Jersey Shore,
Jersey Shore, or something, or Real World. Yeah,
that would be funny too, like reality TV.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be hilarious. No, guys, I think we're all getting closer and closer to the truth for sure. I think, admittedly, I've said it from the beginning, like I don't expect for me to get everything right because I'm not at the level of writing that these. I mean, if anything, I'm not even doing writing. I'm just doing the reading part, but I'm not at the skill that these masterful, writers are at. So I'm pretty sure, once again, there's a lot of curveballs in here. There's a lot of misdirections.
For sure.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see what's going on, and
same here.
We're almost there. Three more episodes.
Yeah, for sure. Lex, what's your rating, man, of this episode? I'm gonna give it a solid 7. I'm gonna stick on my 7. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a solid 7.
I'm gonna give it an 8.5. Pretty high up there as usual.
Hey, bro, your grade starts like your grade's like 8 and above.
I was thinking of a 9, but no, I gotta save my 9s for the good stuff. Like the 1 9 I've given. I still
no. You gave
I've given a 10.
You gave it a 10.
Yeah,
which one was before? I forgot which one was for.
Last episode, I think. The one where Vision got mad at Wanda.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
No, but once again, I can give multiple 10s. It doesn't have to be just one. But this one I'm giving 8.5 once again, just because it was more of a big stuff happened, but it's once again it's calm before the storm. So I'm reserving it to 8.5. I'm still giving it that high of a number just because I love the Halloween situation. I love the mini plot story that Vision was going through, right? His own investigation, kind of like lying to Wanda and finding out. There's a lot of suspense, almost like a tiny level of horror in there in terms of what he was finding out, right? What this was this part of the ghost town. But yeah, calm before the storm. So I think 8.5 is warranted for me. And I just know from here they're probably going to be like 9 or 10. I mean, for y'all, I don't know. Like y'all always score. Like Ryan always scores them. Like, oh, I'll give it a 5 or something. No.
He's picky. He's a
no, it's not that I'm picky. It's just like I know what I love and I know what I don't love and I know what I like and I know what I hate. So it's just one of those situations. I choose my words very, very, very wisely. I really do.
Gotcha.
Had to have that suspense moment. Had to have a suspense little pause there. But yeah, man, I'm alrighty, guys. Well, any final thoughts? JC Lex?
I'm just excited to see what's next. Let's see how they close it out. Whatever it is, guys, just suspend your disbelief and just enjoy it. I mean, we're in a happy time, and just enjoy 3 hours of epicness. Really, this is going to be a lot of fun.
I hope it is. I really do. I'm going in with a really good positive mode already. So again, this it could change if they do the Hydra thing that freaking Lex mentioned. I'm done. Like I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Wait,
why even?
Would you be mad? Would you be mad if it is Hydra, or you're saying would you be mad if it's Sword and it's just another evil organization again?
I'll be mad if it's Hydra. Because then it would just be like the same thing we got on Winter Soldier. You know, it's just like, oh, let's destroy Sword now. Or like, you know, it's just like Sword's compromised and all that stuff.
I think it's the opposite. I think if Sword ends up being just evil themselves, that's the same thing as Winter Soldier. I think if it's a leftover Hydra for me, it was just like, oh, like, you know, it was misguided for us to think that this was Sword. But I'm not saying Hydra would be the main villain. I'm saying this would be just like a side thing, and then Mephisto or Hugh Jackman shows up, and that's the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think this would be like a side problem for human people, and then Wanda and Vision have like the big scale thing. But you're right. You know, repetitiveness is
annoying.
Yeah, I was. For me, I think that explanation for me makes me feel better. I still want Mephisto to be this big. If it is Mephisto,
I'm freaking on board. I'm gonna give the episode a 10. I'm calling it right now. If it
agent to be Mephisto though, I don't like him even as a villain. So I would like for him to be Hydra, and it's like, okay, let's nip it in the butt. Let's destroy that dude, and then boom, out of nowhere, this mythical evil embodiment, right?
Or Doctor Strange comes.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I think that's the most exciting thing, right? It's every episode we're looking forward to what we can discuss, what we got right, what we got wrong, or what's just straight up a surprise, right? So I think those are my final thoughts. It goes up from here, right? And I think
here it goes, man. This is it. Disney, don't disappoint. I saw also, ladies and gentlemen, I actually saw that that Disney ranked up their subscribers to 93 million subscribers, I think, or something like that. And I was like, dude, they were trying to reach that in, I think, 3 or 4 years, right?
They were trying to reach like 50 something in 3 years, and they did it in one.
In 1 year,
3.
That's insane.
It's ridiculous.
That's the pandemic world we live in. You know.
Yep. That's right, guys. Everyone loves Disney.
Yeah.
Everyone's snowed in. Everyone's snowed in right now. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna watch Disney Plus. We're gonna watch.
I remember just real quick anecdote. I think I remember John Boyega, the actor that plays Finn in Star Wars. When Disney was just launching, and they had already announced WandaVision and Falcon just very early on, just saying, "Hey, these are some shows that we're bringing from Marvel over." I'm almost certain that John Boyega said, "I'm not gonna let him put me into a Disney show, I'm not gonna let him take me to a show platform where I'm coming from movies." And I think I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it was him, but that was a mistake. It was a mistake to say it. Granted, I don't think they're touching that for a minute, regardless. But for him to come out and say like, "Nah, that's not like it's a downgrade." He didn't say it like that, but if he's coming from a standpoint of like it's a downgrade to go to Disney Plus, that was a mistake, man. Because now it's probably where it's at for right now.
Money talks. You never know.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Have seen it as a downgrade because I'm pretty sure these actors are getting paid very well.
Okay, so how TV shows worked, I actually looked into it whenever I found with the last few seasons of Big Bang Theory. The more popular, obviously, the show gets, the more money they get per episode. And you guys would not believe how much last season of Big Bang Theory.
I know. That's
millions of dollars per episode.
I mean, when you're cast on a show, those first
so long.
You're initially contracted for 5 years if the show makes it, and then you renegotiate after that. And that was the subject of a big contract dispute towards the end, and why when they finally settled on one, they said, "Hey, this is going to be it." And they did the series right. I like the way they ended it, and it was perfect. And they've kept it going in a way with young Sheldon, and even young Sheldon has revealed some stuff that might happen with Sheldon and Amy beyond what we saw in Big Bang Theory. So
wow, there you go. So again, it's just, and of course we talk about another good show, what's Game of Thrones. We talk about them, how much they were getting paid and all that stuff. So I mean, it's I get it. I mean, John Boyega, I feel like again, it goes into the politics side, into behind the scenes of Disney, of the Star Wars universe. I would say, I feel like they really didn't even. I feel like they just wrote him off. Like they could have just. Again, and obviously that didn't happen on the film, but I feel like they just wrote him off as far as script wise, as far as story wise, because he was just there was no development in his character that I felt like he could have had after because in Force Awakens we saw development in him right away, and then after that just one of the main reasons why I didn't like Star Wars. But
and I don't even think he meant it for like a money's that he probably is knowledgeable, right? And he knows that there's money in TV. I think from a platform and from a level of quality, before Disney even released anything, right? They had just once again announced the service and what it was going to be at the beginning, which was just the catalog of Disney movies and shows and things like that. But once they started announcing Disney Plus original series with characters from the Marvel movies, I think he just came out and said it like, hey, if they wanted to do that with Star Wars or whatever, like I'm not gonna let them kind of downgrade me. And once again, I just feel like that was a big mistake, man. Like granted, I don't think that would have resulted in him getting his own show, but it was a big mistake to write it off like that, because once again, now we're seeing the level of quality and how they're treating these series, and like you guys both said, like the money that's in this, right? You have the longevity that you're not just signing on for 3 movies. You're signing on for X amount of seasons, and sometimes one of those episodes in each season, if your ratings are up, are worth millions of dollars, right? So it was just, I was just mentioning that because it's just incredible how big Disney Plus has grown, and once again, as a place to create original content, Marvel's been landing it so far. Hopefully they can stick the landing here with WandaVision. I think they can. But it's next level.
Star Wars is another thing. Obviously, it's just I mean, they killed it with the Mandalorian, but it's just, I don't know, man. It's very hard to when you start off really big. I mean, it's one of those situations, but that's like another conversation we'll talk about. But it's just so many other different series they have going on for the Star Wars universe. And I mean, even I believe next month we get Falcon, right? We get Falcon and
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, next month, right? March.
Pretty much a week. I think a week after this ends, we get Falcon and Winter Soldier right into it.
No break, man. No breaks.
No, that's the plan. Is just throw them out left and right and see what happens. Yeah.
So I'm excited to see this 3-part episode, the 3-hour episodes that we're getting, 3 episodes that we're getting, and they're going to be an hour long. I can't wait to see them, guys. I know you're as excited as I am. I just can't wait to see what I'm going to be very pissed if it's what Lex says. I'm going to be very pissed. Very mad. Be like, you wasted time, poor writing. But all right.
But you watched it. That's
All right, guys. Well, as always, I'm your host, Ryan D, Ryan680. JC, thank you for coming from Countdown City, man.
Appreciate it. Yeah, a lot of our guys didn't have power, so it's nice to come on and talk WandaVision. We'll see when we can do an episode this week. We'll see if things get moved around a bit, but we'll do something together. Yeah. So
awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Where can people find you, JC?
I'm on Twitter at Squints84, and just look me up there. Chat along with me about everything from wrestling to geek topics to reality TV, because as Ryan knows, Temptation Island starts tomorrow, and our little Island of Reality podcast, we're going to be all over. So, yes.
A lot of temptation there, a lot of women, women. Lex,
Beautiful.
You got to watch Temptation Island, brother. You got to listen to our podcast a little bit.
Oh man, I don't know if reality TV's for me.
There's a lot of hot girls on this show.
I was in your shoes, brother. I was in your shoes. I was like, I'm not going to like it. Damn it, I love it.
Gotcha.
Yes. I love it. And this is coming from a very picky person.
Yeah.
So
you finally admit that you're picky. Got it.
Hey,
gotcha.
I admit on certain things. I admit it. Comedy, I'm very picky. Very, very picky. But Lex, where can people find you at, brother?
You guys can find me over at the Not in Theaters podcast and also on Twitch. And the channel is called The Lex Level. So feel free to check me out there. I'll be doing, I took a little bit of a pause because I'm doing some stuff on the side, but I'll be back on streaming this week.
Awesome. You better be on it. Better be on it like hotcakes.
I gotta start streaming on different days because if you want to become like an affiliate or whatever, you have to stream on different days out of the week, like 7 days. So basically, you have to do a stream Monday, not consecutively, but you have to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And usually, I've only done Thursday, Friday, and Sundays. No, Saturdays. So I've never really touched like the Mondays or the Tuesdays, but hopefully very soon I can start knocking those days out. And then at one point I'll set up a schedule or something.
There you go, brother. That's it, man. That's it. Push it. Yeah.
Y'all got
it. But yeah, JC, it looks like I lied, man. It looks like we went a little bit over an hour. I said it was gonna be 30, 45 minutes. But it looks like we hit up an hour. But yeah, man, it's all good.
It's all good. I got to work from home, but my kids and my wife don't have school for the next 2 days. So,
dang, party, distract.
Yeah, we'll see if they can. Please don't.
Distract JC now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. All right. Well, thanks, you guys. Stay warm, everybody. Hopefully, everyone's staying safe in San Antonio. And catch y'all later, guys.
See you.
Bye-bye.